You can just start. Yeah, thanks. Gentlemen, thank you, Larry, for your help. Just come sit down now. Let's. Wow, what a nice group. You know, this is the first time that I'm giving a workshop in this office this way, like this. I just feel so blessed. I'm blessed, you know, with the knowledge that we have. Knowledge is light. When you don't know what to do and you don't have enough knowledge to have even hope, and you're scared, that knowledge all of a sudden is the light in darkness. And right now we're about to help you. Each and every single one of us here is called to become an expert. We're called, an expert is just someone who's knowledgeable on something. You don't need a title or letters after your name. You just need to have faith in yourself, to have enough knowledge that you really believe, okay, you know, if someone comes in front of you, whatever the circumstance is, if you feel confident, truly, not a false confidence or, you know, like through experience. That's what you're doing. You're getting experience, and that's why even the challenges that we go through in our life are such blessings. Because as you go through it, you're being forced to learn, because we all tend to be lazy sometimes or procrastinate sometimes. We all do it in different areas of our life. Come on in. And the point is that when you actually gain that knowledge, you're able to accomplish the very thing that brings the most joy to your life, which is being able to impart that knowledge with someone that you care about. Because if you didn't make a difference, see, it's a natural instinct to want to help each other. If you're not, if when I go and I'm ready to graduate this world, and I'm on my last breath, and I didn't even make a change, a difference, in not even one person's life, can you connect to what kind of feeling I would be feeling if I felt like I didn't matter? If I wasn't important? I wasn't needed in any way? See, that's that spirit of truth inside you telling you you're here for a purpose. And you're meant to contribute. So today, let's help you become experts. That's the goal and the mission of every single person in this office. To be that person who's not afraid to help someone because you feel knowledgeable enough. And I'm going to ask you to participate that and engage. Engage your mind. Just the tiniest little bit of life there. Engagement, we'll call that for now, will automatically start allowing you to shift and grow as a person. Help you become that person that you need to be. So this way, when it's time for you to graduate life, there's so much life flowing through your heart, your lungs, it's at a ripe old age where you feel fulfilled. You feel happy. You feel it's the right time. You're not battling some cancer or some disease. Living life in a way that, you know, what most of the world does. Don't you want to break free from that? If you want to break free from that, raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right. I love to participate. There we go. Then it's going to happen, because as long as you step in faith and you're taking action and you're allowing yourself to be learning, right? We have to be like kids. We have to recognize and say, okay, I need to learn. I need to grow. That's how you can, you'll never stop learning. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. The moment you say, I already know everything I need to know, is the moment you're disconnecting from your Creator. Because there's always more to grow, always more to learn. So that's pride. So the world won't teach you how to become an expert at building your health. Because building your health, let's focus on health for a second. Building your health is one of the most important things you can ever seek to become an expert at. See, you may not have the same goals as me. You may not have the same vision of your retirement as me. Although I'll tell you, I have a pretty good vision for me. I like to travel. My wife and I, she loves traveling, and I want to see the world. Do you have a chair? Okay. I just want to live. I want to do everything that brings joy, and there's a way to do that. As long as you're doing it in a way that fulfills that purpose, that sense of purpose, whatever you're called to do. And no matter what it is that you feel called to do, whatever your heart is calling you to do, whatever you feel is right for you, whatever you're working towards, you're going to need your health to enjoy it and to enjoy it for longer. Now, the world, so many people, so many of us, so many loved ones, so many of us, see, in this room, we're not afraid. That's why you're here. We're not afraid to take a look and see what's going on and still stay humble to the truth. Most people that we see as they're getting older are getting sicker. The world is having us equate one with the other. I have people come into my office and look, show me an MRI, show me an X-ray, and there's areas in their spine that are so decayed or in their body that are so broken down compared to other areas that are right above it, right next to it, just above it or just below it. And they're convinced because their doctor told them that's normal for with age. And who here knows the question, some of you guys might, what's the question I always ask them when they ask me that? Does anyone here know? If you're going to be an expert, first of all, if you're going to know that it's not because of age and you're going to break free, you have to know it well enough to be able to teach. You've got to be the expert. And that means you can't just base it on my opinion. That's why you've got to be engaged. It's got to come up from inside you. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. All right? This is the question that I asked them. How much older is, let's say, the bone right up here than the bone right down here? Because that's me. I had many years of decay, about 20 years in this spot down here. Nearly cost me my life. Over here, medically, when you look at it, it looks normal. So how much older, if this is age, right? How much older is this one than this one?
None.
Same.
Excuse me?
Same age.
I don't know.
Same age. No, it's not a trick. I guarantee you. I just want to give time for you to meditate on that for a little bit. I was just talking to Jim before. I said that, coming across an idea without having a chance to meditate on it, or as Jim says, chew on it a little bit, is not going to benefit you at all. Because think about what that means. If they're the same age, and they are, obviously, is that obvious? Right? Which part was born first? Maybe one's like a half a second older than the other as I was coming out, So, but the point is, if they're the same age, then is it really age? Or maybe one part over the years, maybe it was misaligned, maybe there was more stress, more wear and tear on it, with maybe because it was misaligned with the way gravity is hitting it, there was maybe not enough life being expressed, that's the way your body adapts and makes changes. So one part is breaking down a lot faster than the other. As a matter of fact, sometimes you look at it and you don't see any breakdown at all, which means you can age optimally, which is exactly what happens when you're allowing 100% life, which we're going to go into in a second, what that is. What that means, because who's responsible for you being aligned with the 100% life? Yeah, but that didn't sound like an expert. Are you an expert? You become an expert, right? You're in school to become an expert, the school of life, right?
Yeah.
You paid your tuition. Look at this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get the
I'm an
most.
expert on this.
You're an expert on that? We want to see, but when you look at that, you might see something that helps someone who's a victim to something. That's what the world teaches. When I look at that, I see a glorious lesson that you're learning. If you just stay humble and keep learning how to be the expert, when you overcome it, you're going to say, man, that was just the tuition I paid. It was worth it. How many here people say, no, I'm not going to send my kids to college because it's not worth the tuition. Only if you don't believe in them. But if you believe in your child and you know that they're going to apply it and they're going to use it and make a difference and they're going to have a, man, you can do whatever you can. You're going to sacrifice, some of you guys sacrifice your own health. I don't know, Doc. I'm going to come back on a visit here. You know what I mean? There's a, like, just to be able, because we have so many family expenses coming up. But the beautiful thing is when you're healthy, when you learn what that is, and you're going to see today, when you're healthy, you're overcoming every area of your life, including financial troubles. Man, we just got to learn a little bit more about what health is. So one part, I just want to help you break free from the world for a second, though, because when you're being told that it's age, or you're being led to believe that it's age, or you're being given no options available to you, and you start to judge for yourself, like there's nothing else left for me to learn. Everyone, the doctor already said, the expert said, the expert said, the expert said. You know what? And you start thinking, I guess I'm just getting old. You just moved into a mindset, you just accepted a vision of yourself which is not the same vision that your Creator has for you. And you will live it. Most of the time. Because I see miracles happen, even when we're not even doing anything even close. I am one of those people. Man, there's some times in my life where I've been so lost and doing all the wrong things, and I was still saved. Brought to the right places. So let's go on that first step. We're going to go through a series of steps, but we're going to do it to the level where you own it. Because if you don't own it, then you didn't gain anything yet. I want you to own it. Own it just means that you recognize it so clearly that you're not afraid anymore. That if you know something that can save someone's life. See, when you're not an expert, you hesitate to share it, even if it means that person might die. Even if it's your own child sometimes. I see it. That's how confused and lost we are. And we hesitate to share that knowledge. And it's just because we're not healthy enough. When you're really healthy enough, even your communication and your relationships are healthy. Nothing's being pushed. Nothing's being forced. There's genuineness in there. When you speak to someone, it's genuine. The person can feel it. Even if, I always want you guys focused on building your health when you're here. And there's times when we get distracted, and my vision is like, this place has to be a place where we help you break free from distractions, because there's always a million more distractions outside of this office than in here. So even when I have to go ahead and, break a pattern of distraction, right? Does anyone here ever feel like I'm ever being rude to you? No. You don't know how many times I've done it with each and every single one of you. That's awesome, Jim. Thanks, man. You know what? Listen, I love you so much. Let's get focused on what's most important right now. Let's take this time right now and make sure we get whatever you need done. There's always a way to communicate. If you have enough love flowing through, that it's never rude. And you just broke that person's pattern. You just helped them get their priorities back to where they should be. And if you're going to be an expert, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to know what they are, because I guarantee you I mess up all the time too. Okay? But when push comes to shove, and when you're in an emergency situation and you need some walker, when I was in the hospital, when doctors were telling me, man, I needed to know what I needed to know, what I want to share with you. And that's what you need to learn right now. And that's why this is going to save your life. And it's going to save your friend's life, your family, your kids. You know why? Because you're going to learn it well enough that you're not afraid. So let's start with the first one. Age. You got to break free from that lie. All right? If some parts, my right shoulder and my left shoulder, which shoulder's hurting? The right shoulder. Oh, but it's because of age, getting old. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Maybe it's the arthritis in my left knee, right? Oh, doctor said that's because of my age. You don't know how many times I hear that. My age. I got news for you. You ever notice how sometimes it's feeling better than other times?
Yes.
Everyone here?
Yes.
So that means, even though you're constantly getting older, sometimes it's getting better. Why don't we look into that? Take a closer look at what's happening so you don't have to suffer for the rest of your life like you're being convinced of. All you have to do is just say, it's not my age. That's BS. I mean it. You need to get some emotion in there, because if you're going to overcome, the world will come at you with everything it's got to pull you away from faith. It'll come at you with fear, doubt, and disbelief, full strength. Man, when the doctors told me I had the cancer, right? And I said, well, I want to go ahead, I want to find out and see what's causing it first, because they wanted me to do the chemo. I said, let me see what's causing this, right? Let me see if I can address it. Let me do my things first. They're like, this isn't going to go away. This is what I specialize in. This is I see it all the time. It's not going to go away. You need this. You're going to die if you don't do this. I was a little bit stronger from a little bit more knowledge, but I was still kind of weak, because listen to this. They went ahead, and I said, listen, I just want to give it like 40 days. Which really, in my mind, I wanted more, but it's like, they go ahead, and I was afraid to ask for what I really wanted, and I wasn't even being fully genuine there, because there was fear. And he left, and he comes back with another 2 doctors and another nurse, and there was this team of people telling me, listen, you can do it, all right? The world will come at you in full strength. You need a foundation of truth. And truth doesn't come from an opinion. That's why I got to ask you questions. That's why you got to engage your mind. The spirit of truth is inside you. That's where you're going to find it. All right? So which hip is older?
None.
So one of those hips experienced more breakdown than the other one. You need to find out why. And also, it's every part of your body is experiencing breakdown. Is it not? Is that something we need to meditate on, or are we in agreement there? Right? Don't your blood cells only live 120 days? That's more or less, right? Your liver cells for, a little bit longer. Very rejuvenating. You could cut half your liver out, it'll grow back. So your body's constantly breaking down and building up. There's a balance between life and death. Same thing with wear and tear in your joints. So there's a part of you that's building you up. Man, if I went through life, if I went through my childhood only focusing on all my mess-ups, but never the times my parents just forgave me and took me out for ice cream even when I didn't deserve it, and do all these things, like, man, that would have been a horrible life. You guys are focusing on what the world tells you to focus on, everything wrong, and not enough on what's building you up, what's giving you strength, what's helping you overcome, what's teaching you a lesson. Yesterday, I prayed a prayer that was pretty tough for me at that moment. But I was praying, thank you, God, for the doors you closed in my face. Yeah. Oh, we love open doors, but we hate when they're closed. And you don't realize how many times that helps you. It saves your life, and it helps you stay on path. And it's part of, because you have a specific thing that you're meant to learn and participate in and share with the world. You are important, and you were created for a purpose. And each of us has certain things in general that we're all meant to share. But you all have unique talents. We all have unique abilities, unique things just for us. Every hair in your head is known and counted, and we have something special and different about each of us. So you can reach someone in a different way than I can. That's part of why we're doing this. I've been praying for a long time, making adjustments, allowing that divine intelligence in me to keep molding my thinking. And you know what happens? The pressure comes off. My health increases. And life gets easier. My goal was to help save the world. Now I realize I need help. I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you. You're new. We're going to go over everything on Tuesday. I need you. I need you to overcome this thing so you can feel confident in what you're saying. I need you to show up here as much as you believe you need to. And if you're not seeing the results you need, then show. You know, how many of us, if you're brushing your teeth every morning, and you went to the dentist, and the dentist said, you have cavities, are going to act like this. This brushing the teeth thing is just not working. See, if it's a fact that there's a spirit of life inside you, right? A dead body doesn't, we're going to talk about this in a second, doesn't make new healthy cells. Everything stops if there's no life. So if it's a fact that there's life inside you that's building you up, then always doing something to increase that, it never not works. Brushing your teeth doesn't not clean your teeth. Do it twice a day. Really depends on what's in your heart. How bad do you want to avoid cavities? But when we're talking about your spine and how all healing and health and life, all the brain signals go through there to your heart, your lungs, right? Your cells giving immunity and protection and getting rid of toxins, everything, all life functions. Then we're talking about, well, if you don't want to allow disease, what's disease? It could be diagnosed as cancer, autoimmune diseases like lupus, whatever it is. If you don't want that, we have the world's conditioning that makes us afraid. See, that's why we have to engage our mind. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to be aware of it. Okay? I got news for you. What you don't know can hurt you. Knowledge is power. For lack of knowledge, people perish. That's scripture. That's been written thousands of years ago. So, is it age? Is it your age? No. You know what? The healing starts already when you say it with full certainty. Is it your age? Is it because your lungs are too old? If there's even a hint of that you believe, what you're doing is not letting me help you get 100% life, man. Life is truth. What's the truth? Does everyone's, if you're having a hard time breathing, you're having a hard time something, if it was age, then every time that someone's lungs or whatever hit that age, that's just a normal process with age. Everyone would have that. Is it age? No. Good. Good. You gotta be an expert. So meditate on it, because what I want you to look at me do is get to the point where you look at me and just be like, obviously it's not age. Oh, can you do that? Maybe you can do it now. Practice. Make an adjustment down. Like, make a change. Let's do it right now. Come on. Say, obviously. No. But only if you believe that. Do you need to meditate? You recognize it's true now. Okay, good. So say it. Let yourself have eagerness to align with the truth. If that's the truth, then that's what you need. Say, it's not my age. No, it's not. You're right. But you know what that does? It brings accountability into the situation now. That's why there's so much fear and resistance, because it's like, if it's not my age, then that means there might have been some role I played in this. You know what? If there was a role you played in it, thank God, because that means you can change it. That means there's hope. Does that make sense? Man, I just realized that I wanted to cover a whole bunch of stuff today, and I realized I could do a whole workshop just on it's not your age. You know what I'm talking about? Man, there's so much, we have a lot to do. Who here thinks that you're already an expert? Who here thinks, raise your hand if you think we have a lot to learn. Okay, so we might not be able to cover in this workshop everything you need. Okay? Because you're under attack from fear, doubt, disbelief. You got to break free. All right? I saw someone going through so much stuff. You want to know what a blessing is? As you become an expert, right, you're going to be used in an amazing way. You're going to be able to tell people about how important it is to prioritize your health the same way I do when I kind of break free. Hey, let's focus on what's more important. Let's you're here for just a second. Let's get you what you need. Because you're going to say, don't do what I did. I got to the point where even when I started learning the truth and starting to apply it, whatever, I was just in such bad shape. I had to keep going, get intubated, tubes in my throat, whatever, right? And it's a gift. It's gonna make you stronger as a leader. Hold that vision of yourself. Realize that you're being gifted. Realize you're being taken care of. There it is. Feel the feeling of life starting to flow through your nerves more. That's what it takes to heal. You want 100% life? Start aligning with God's vision for you. You got it? All right. So it's not, is it your age? Let me hear one big group. Is it your age?
No.
No. All right? What if someone's trying to convince you it's your age?
They're wrong.
Oh, did I just feel some weakness already? Excuse me, they're wrong.
They're wrong.
What? No, but what if it's the top doctor?
No.
He's really wrong.
Because is this my opinion, or are you recognizing just from looking at the gifts that God gave you, life experiences, that it's not true? You gotta just open your eyes and look. It's not your age. So you need to, if you want to live a full life, you need normal function in your body. Okay? normal function. Here's a cell. Okay, got a nucleus with some DNA. I'm going to just do this. You guys know what DNA looks like? Like that? Anyway, don't worry. You know what DNA, everyone here knows what DNA is?
Yes.
Okay, here's another cell. In the cell membrane, it's amazing. There's this like phospholipid bilayer. It's all these proteins and amino acids and whatever, fats and cholesterol and anyway. So the point is, there's all these here. We'll put this here. We'll put that there. All right. So you have a cell, right? What's that?
7th grade biology.
6th grade biology.
Yes, it is. You see the ribosomes
Study that for the
even.
next term.
So here's the thing. There is something here. The most important thing you need to know is what brings health to your body, what builds you up, because there is no oh, here's something you need to meditate on. You might need emergency care because your body is broken down so much. Okay, that's where it's a gift from God. But let me ask you a question to help ease your suffering, okay? But is there any drug in the world that can make new ones of these for you?
No.
Are you made up of these, your physical part of you, your physical body? Is it made up of these?
Yes, yes.
So if you want to heal, if you want to really be well, don't you need the right ones of these?
Yes.
Is there anything the world offers you that can do this?
No.
No. What's well, your body. Yeah. Only from within, right? And if you studied it, you'll notice, and we'll take a closer look. Let's take a closer look to examine it. A body without life. Can we all recognize the difference between a body that has life in it and a body that doesn't?
Yes.
I hope so.
It's not just energy moving through the nerves. There's something special, something more, something greater, something that can't be put into words. Something that's that amazing inside each and every single one of us. Because I can plug a dead body into an electrical outlet and run electricity through it, and you'll make the muscles go like this. You know what I mean? But can you still recognize it's a dead body? There's something inside you that can recognize truth. It can recognize life. Okay? And what you need, what's making the cells for you is not just your body, but it's that life within you. If there was, and the reason we know that's a certainty is because if there was no life in you, it wouldn't be happening. And we see that over and over and over again since the beginning of time. So, if you were to take all these different things and put them onto a petri dish and put them together, can you make a living cell? Does anyone know if we've tried that? We've tried that millions of times, okay? The question is, can we create life from nothing?
No.
From just physical materials?
No.
Is everyone aware of that? That's just the life experience. You can research if you want. We've never been able to do that. Even when you say, oh, what about cloning? You actually have to take a living thing and use life. Life has to do it. You have to use something that's alive and inject it into that and let it do it, because we can't do it. It's a higher intelligence. We're not smart enough.
That's right.
That's right. So the point is, we can't do that. It is a fact that there is a higher intelligence. Are we here? Okay, because the world will have you learn that everything, imagine, you know, this pen, with the intricacy that went into it, the materials used is so perfect to carry the dye, all right? The dye is a special dye. It's not just any dye. It's a dye that allows me to just go like this, whoop, and erases easily, as compared to like a Sharpie or a pen or something. It's, you know, it's made carefully. It has a nice cap. It's shaped to fit nice in the hands. Comes easy. Even has a nice shape on the back of it, so that this cap can fit perfectly just like this, right? The world wants you to believe that this right here, this is what they actually teach your kids in school. They taught you in school this, that this right here appeared from nothing.
That's right.
Natural, non-intelligent causes. Randomness. You know better, don't you? Don't you know that somebody made this?
That's right.
Specifically this Expo company? A higher intelligence must have made
It
it.
just appeared.
Diligent is
What's that?
That's not exactly what it was.
It just appeared out of nothing. Well, imagine the intricacy of a cell, or billions of them specialized in different ways, working in different ways, organizing into different organs, working together in different ways there, and 80 trillion different functions all working together by a non-intelligent chance. It just came by chance.
No.
I mean, you go ahead. Let me tell you something. Let's say you come in for a visit with me, and you bring this nice purse in there, and I didn't see it. I didn't see you bring it in, but you walk out and you leave, and I see this new purse here, and I'm like, honey, we got a gift. The universe brought us a gift. Why is it so not believable that it can just pop out of nothing?
Never happened.
The Big Bang is creation, but they want to teach us that there was no intelligent source of that. So it came from nothing. Everything. The laws of science, the laws of physics, time even. Logic says then whatever created that must have been outside of time and eternal. But the point is, we just say no, it came from nothing. It requires a lot more faith to believe that things pop out of nothing
Yes.
Yep.
than it does to believe that when you find something, all of a sudden you come home, Jeannie, right? After you told your husband you've been away for a while. You told your husband you're going to have to go to the store and run back. You come back to the house and you're like, hon, Francis, where? You don't see him, and you look and you see a flower on the floor. But then you see another one. And another one. Your heart starts beaming with joy. You're like, oh, what is this excitement? Because you know that was no chance of randomness. And it's leading to the bedroom or wherever. I don't know. No, it must have been just randomness. So anyway, so is it a fact that there's life? Is it a fact that there's a higher intelligence?
Yes.
Okay, so when in a higher intelligence, when you're in a life-threatening situation, when your child is being told that they're going to die if they don't do something, all right? Do you want man's intelligence being in charge, or do you want a higher one for your child?
Higher.
Now, did that sound congruent enough that if you were facing that situation, you would actually do it? You would actually give your child what they deserve, a higher intelligence guiding it, a better chance to succeed? Or did it sound like we're still too aligned? You got to break free. If you're going to break free, you got to bring a little bit more life, a little bit more engagement, a little bit more energy there. I want to see a little bit more passion, because we're talking about if your own child or someone you love and care about is going to die early because of worldly conditioning, when they have every right to be healthy. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's when your health is your birthright, and we're going to keep learning more about it. That's why you need to become experts at it. So we're talking about murder in a way. We're talking murder, but it's not the doctor that murder. No. It's ignorance. Murdering yourself, your family. Conditioning you to not stand up for the truth. That's why you have to actually work on your faith. You got to recognize, is this true? Is this what I believe? You need time in meditation. And if it's true, what do you think we're doing now? Anything that you really gain here is not from what I'm telling you. It's how willing are you to participate? How active are you? How much are you engaging? That's why the better I get at doing this, it's the more I'm not afraid. And I'm willing to be active and to participate in breaking you out of your thing and emotionally getting you going like this. Come on, wake up. There you go. Because you can break free and your life will be so much better. You know what's the beauty about this? Let's just say you don't restore 100% normal function. Here's what you need to know, right? If you had 100% normal function, can you have asthma at that moment?
No.
Can you have abnormal decay building up in your arteries?
No.
Can you have a weakened immune system and cancer cells growing out of control?
No.
Can you have toxins building up on, more than your body's able to process? Sometimes, let's meditate on that. I know you feel like you got into a rhythm and we stopped meditating, you just started getting in a rhythm of what is the doctor looking for. It's not about me. If I just injected you with poison, that might be a little bit more than he could process at that moment. And if I went way over more than the limits, then it could kill him, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's. We're not here to listen to what Dr. Sayegh just wants you to say. We're here to connect to the truth. inside you. You understand? So you can be overwhelmed. What I've been learning though, through my experience, is that the more you increase that expression of life, the more you can handle something like that with less problems, less effects, and the more likely you are to overcome it. So there is some experience of what I'm recognizing that you can overcome anything, eventually. And that should be your goal. But you need life. You need more life. You need it abundantly. Okay? Now, if you had 100% normal function, though, even if after I injected that poison, if there was still normal function there, then that means you're immune to it, right? Hello? What does immune mean? It doesn't harm you. So, if you still kept normal function everywhere, are you fine? So a doctor gives you a bad report and says, hey, here's what's going on. You have, diabetes. Okay? There's no cure for diabetes, but don't worry. There's been really good advancements. They want you to put faith. See, they did really good at putting faith in being sick for the rest of your life and being managed by their intelligence. So don't worry. You're going to go ahead. Now, this medicine is a gift. If you're in an emergency state, you need to recognize, is it your age that you have diabetes? Type 2 diabetes? No. So you have to have accountability here. There's a responsibility here. Your body's been breaking down. You haven't had enough life. Maybe for the amount of life that you do have, it's too much stress. You know what? The more life you have in your body, the more you can take on in the world. The more productive you can be, the more successful, because you can handle more stress. Your communication's better, your relationships are better. So anyway, what do you think the goal here is? 100% life. 100% life is 100% normal function. That's the goal for every single one of us. In that moment of an adjustment, the moment that you come in, if you're going to become experts at building your health, you got to learn how to get rid of the tension out of that part of your body where all life flows through. All right? So it starts with meditation. We always lay down and say it's time to meditate. Lay down and meditate. It's time for prayer and focus. And here's the thing you need to meditate on. Write this down. When you come in for an adjustment, you come in and you just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to meditate on what am I doing here? Be present. This place is that good, it's that special. If you just say, what am I doing here? Why am I really here right now? What am I coming for? And you recognize you might have been off track already. The world self-excites us. It gets us away from the highest truth. Oh, I'm here to see the doc. I'm here for the family. I'm here because I feel loved in this office. I'm here for... Hold on a second. The most powerful thing that this doctor right here, me, is always telling you is you need to be connected with your Creator, right? I'm here to get life flowing through my spine to every organ, cell, and tissue. My heart, my lungs, my arteries have life be fully expressed. Life is normal function. If you had a dead body, we did this, is there any function? No. So the more you have vitality, vitality means an expression of life, right? The more you have vitality, what happens to the normal function? Does that also go up? The higher amount of life you have, the more normal function. So if you had 100% normal function, that's what we call 100% life. Okay? Is that a cure for your condition?
Yeah. 100% life.
Yeah. Should be. If you had normal function, if you went to the doctors and the doctors said, hey, listen, everything is functioning perfectly normal. As a matter of fact, we need to take you off that medicine immediately because it could hurt you. You don't need to lower your blood pressure because it'll go too low. Everything's normal. Everything's functioning exactly the way. Not just the test that we measure medically, but if we checked every cell of your body, we found out everything's doing exactly what it needs to be doing. Do you need any medicine?
No.
No.
Are you sick?
No.
Are you healthy?
Yes.
So would that be a cure?
Yes.
Good. You recognize that. So, and the thing is, if there was no life, there would be no function, right? So the point is, if there was no life, there's no function. So 100% life, that higher intelligence, is the cure. And I got news for you. I've been striving to reach that. And I haven't been perfect about it, and I haven't been doing it all the time, but I have moments of 100% life. That's what you get in an adjustment, okay? When you can be completely surrender, 100%. And let that intelligence be fully in charge. So at that moment, all that wisdom is being expressed. That's why an adjustment is so powerful. You need to learn how. That's why you need to learn how to do it better and better on your own, and why you got to come in as often as you need to. Okay. So the point is, when you have, and yeah, I don't think I ever got my body to even close to, I probably got it to about like 35–40% function on average. Now probably it's like 60% now. And all the tumors went away, the ulcers went away, all the issues I had trigeminal, I overcame everyone. And even if I wasn't perfect at that, when you go ahead and a challenge comes into your life, you're gonna know how to get rid of it. Because sometimes we're not perfect and we get little reminders to start meditating and surrendering again. But the world will teach you, no, you have a disease, there's something wrong with you. When really, if your purpose in life is to express life, to spread faith, hope, and love to the people around you, to improve their quality of life, right? To help bring them closer to their creator, their spirit of life inside them. Because if you care about them, do you want them to live better and longer? So they need to grow closer to that life within them. So if our purpose is to bring them that, you wouldn't have been able to do it as well if you didn't go through the challenges you went through. So every challenge is there to help you and puts you right on your purpose. But you can get self-fixated in the mind. It's what the world teaches. It says, no, there's no purpose in this, you're just a victim. You're a victim to this, and you just need this, and you need that. And you know what? If after meditating, you let that wisdom be in charge, see, there's a play with words. You have to, don't get caught in the loop and thinking, okay, so that means I don't need this, or I don't need that. You're letting that higher intelligence make the decision. Find out, meditate. I just sent someone to the hospital after his visit the other day to get intubated because in my higher intelligence I realized I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to get him to the level that I knew he could be, but there was just so much effort and energy and force, and I felt the stress for myself making me sick because I knew I could do it, but I realized I didn't think it was God's will. I didn't think it was God's will. I think the more, and I realized that as soon as I surrendered it, it came clear to me that the challenges that he's going to go through are going to, as he heals, he's going to be so much more prepped and strong. He's being prepared for his mission to help people. Because he's going to say, don't let that happen to you. Don't wait as long as I did. Thank God I know this information. He's going to share it with everyone in Columbia. Right? We'll get together, right? So the point is, you need 100% what? What is it that's going to save your life if you can get what? 100% life. What is life? Is it a physical thing that can be measured, or is it that non-physical thing? Is it something that can be measured on any given way, any way, like based on our intelligence, or is it something that goes way beyond anything we can even think to reproduce? The best in comparison, look at Christopher Reeve. I give that example all the time because I compare him to Dennis Bird, okay? Both of them suffered spinal cord injuries, right? The best medicine had to offer as life was shutting down in his body. His lungs stopped working. What do? They give him a respirator. They give people respirators. If your heart stops working, what do they give you? Pacemakers and things like that to try to keep you alive. If your intestines start shutting down, they'll put a bag there. They'll massage your intestines so you can go into a bag. They'll put a tube so you go into a pill. If you're paralyzed, they'll put you in a chair you can steer now with your teeth. If you can't speak with your tongue, they'll put hello. But the point is, because that's the best that the world has to offer you as your body's shutting down. Thank God for that power of God inside you. So, how many of us decided, man, that's what I'm going to strive for? That's what I just realized how important that is. I need 100% of what? Life. You know what? We will fail many times. You know what's the beauty about that life? Let me tell you some of the things you learn about it. There's grace there. Remember I told you? I know, because I didn't even get, you think, man, halfway through this talk, I probably went into my head a couple times, and got disconnected a couple times, but it doesn't matter, because I'm doing the best I can. That's a commitment that you need to make. You need a full immersion. You need to deny every part of you that wants things to be your way or a worldly way, and let that higher intelligence be in charge. You know what I'm talking about. You need a full immersion. You need to completely dive into it. You know why? Because when that intelligence is, you know what's going to happen? When you lay down the table and you meditate on what am I doing? The answer is going to be, I'm allowing life to flow through my spine, through to every organ, cell, tissue, right? Meditate on this. If I have stress and tension here, if I'm like, like this, right? is there as much life being expressed through there?
No.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
Can you say that with authority, please?
Yes.
Only if you know it's true. I want to see who doesn't believe that's true. If there's more stress and tension, isn't it a fact that every time there's more stress and tension, things are breaking down? I mean, you knew that before you met me, right?
Yes.
Right.
If there's stress and tension, things are breaking down, yes? Okay, so if that's a fact, say it with authority. Because the world needs you, not to hide your light. If you know something is true and you know it to the depths of your soul, then don't let your light be dimmed by fear, smothered. That's blocking your expression of life. You just told me you're going to get cancer like that. Heart disease, diabetes, whatever disease. That's exactly what you're choosing. You're going to choose disease. There is no, I'm not choosing that, Dr. Sage, but I'm just choosing to block my life, which is to decrease my function in my body, to decrease my sense of purpose in life, to decrease my fulfillment. Do you see there's no difference? You need that power. You were created in a specific way for that power to flow through you from above, down, and from the inside out to the rest of the world. And to bring this whole world into one unity. We're all God's children. And what you're learning right now is how to save your life, how to add years to it. Even if you fail and you never bring enough life to overcome that condition completely, because you're just starting now. That's why you got to start. That's why you got to make haste. You got to start like 20 years ago. You got to start getting your kids in here. But the thing is, even if you never did that, every time you increase life and improve function, what happens to that organ? Does it live the same or does it live longer? Does it live? What happens to the quality? Is it a better quality? So if you realize you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, even if you don't succeed at overcoming it, if your goal is to have that intelligence be fully expressed through your body, man, you're going to go ahead and you're going to have a better life and better quality life, a longer life. More blessed, more memories with your family, with your kids, with the people you care about. More of whatever your vision of what you dreamed for yourself, you're going to be able to accomplish. And you're going to be able to enjoy it more because you're going to be able to move around more. You're going to be more active. You're going to be like one of those people if you want to be. The whole point is you can have whatever you want. As long as it's aligned with fulfilling your purpose, then you can have it. Just ask for it. Say, here's what I want. The answer's clear to you. The answer's coming to you right now. It means all you need is 100% life. 100%. Do your best even when you fail. As long as you're doing your best, you're going to see you're overcoming. Doing your best means making adjustments. Because who's going to do a better job at it, you or higher intelligence? An adjustment is when you let go of control completely and you let your thoughts and feelings change and it molds you so that you're in between your adjustments, you're doing the best you can. By each time you surrender and let go and let that intelligence flow through you, now you're going to do it better. Your thinking changes. Why are the muscles relaxed? Are you still thinking the same stressful thoughts? Or are they more peaceful thoughts, more faithful thoughts? You actually believe in yourself more. Okay, and you're going to be more successful then. And as you start to get overwhelmed with the world, come back in and make another adjustment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Are you hearing the voice of truth in yourself?
Yes.
Are you hearing, do you believe that you were created to be sick or to be healthy?
Healthy.
Do you believe that you were created to live a non-productive life or to live an extraordinary productive life where you bless the lives of many people and reach people? Do you believe you're going to be able to do that if everything you know with certainty you're afraid to share because it goes against what the average person thinks?
No.
No.
Let me just go, let's give time to meditate on that one for a second. If what you know with certainty, because it's obvious, the truth is obvious, realize these are simple things, it's in front of everyone. Anyone takes time to meditate on it, they'll get it. You know what we come across? Internal resistance. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to meditate on that. I just don't want to. I don't have time to think about it. You're right? Who's the only one that they're hurting? Who's the expert here in health? Who's learning to become an expert? Who's the only one that they're hurting? Are they hurting me if they choose not to help themselves, not to get more life in their body? No, because there's a million people that do. I don't have enough room for everyone. That's why I need you all to become experts, so you can start taking care of your own children for yourself. As a mother, you can do that. You can actually see when the kids come home, and you know they've been through stress so much, and you put your hand, and you just go ahead and, you know what sleep time is? It's time to let go of control, even with mommy and daddy. Having a hard time teaching my 3-year-old that right now. Even with mommy and daddy, sleep is a wonderful thing. You're going to practice just letting go, trusting God. If you didn't let go of everything, let God rejuvenate you, you're going to be so miserable tomorrow. We're not going to let that happen. She doesn't listen to reason yet. We'll get there. The others are getting it. That's the whole point. Yeah, if you don't let go and completely rest, man, for you guys, most of us, that's the only time you completely surrender is when you're not doing anything.
Right.
I want you to learn how to be completely surrendered while you're doing something. That you may not reach it, but that's got to be your goal. That's to let God work through you. Be His hands and feet. Do you realize you're going to be so much more successful in every single way? Your whole life is going to be blessed. More health. What about finances? What about your career? What about whatever you're working towards? When you take time, sometimes I can't hear the voice. I'm too stressed, too worried, so I meditate. I connect with peace. I need peace. I need to let go. I need to call a friend sometimes. I need to confess what's stressing me out and why I have all these doubts. I need to get together with someone I can trust. Sometimes I do that, and I'm instilling. I learned something yesterday. I'm instilling. Sometimes some people might not be ready to go. There's so many layers of resistance that they might not be ready to start a care plan. So I would set up a couple of consultations and just have some, little by little, gently loving them, nurture them, help them just seek a little bit more of a time. And then when they're ready to make the commitment to come from New Jersey to do whatever they need to do or whatever, you guys were ready, but some people weren't, and or to do it as many times as you need to because your life is important. Not as many times as the world says, here's what you can do. I'm telling you, prioritize your health and your life first. Prioritize spending the future and the time with your family. Say, I want 100% life. Then say, I'm going to come in as many times as I need to, and watch how God works out a change in your life. You'll find a way. It'll happen. Whatever you're committed to in your life happens. Whatever you tolerate in your life is still in your life, by the way. Just thought that just popped into my mind. Whatever you tolerate. So I don't tolerate a lot of yucky stuff. And part of what happens when your communication heals, when you let that wisdom flow through you, even your relationships will heal. Because even if you tolerate a lot of the yucky stuff, how many people want healthier relationships? I know I do. Yes? All right, then if you really want the shift to start taking place right now, not just learn about it, but actually experience the miracle, let's bring a little bit more life, because it only comes from life inside you. So let's get a little bit more active, ready? A little bit more energy. I want you to raise your hand and say aye, ready? Who wants your relationships to heal? Say aye.
Aye.
There we go. Oh, I feel some life there now. See, now the Spirit's there. There's a little energy in the room, all right? Now you're going to attract different thoughts, different epiphanies, okay? So, if that's the case, let's just say there's an action that we're tolerating. We want it to change. Maybe my child is not doing what she needs to be doing. And as a parent, I know it. You need to stay humble first and not just share what you think you know she needs, but if it's the stuff, you have to be patient. Start with the stuff that's so obvious, like I do. I just ask certain questions. If you have 100% function, where's the disease? And I have to wait sometimes half-hour workshop until you guys start to get it, that would be a cure. You know what I mean? So you gotta be patient. Now there's maybe 30 million things more I wanted to teach you today, but you don't skip over the first steps. You have to be patient. Guess what? I'm learning to let that wisdom guide me more. That wisdom is infinitely patient with us. Okay? So let's just say that it's something that's obvious now, that if anyone took time to really meditate on it and actually took the question seriously and thought about it, they engaged their mind with a little bit of life, they would come up with, you're right, Mom, or you're right, Dad, this is what I should do, right? Then you need to start allowing that wisdom to guide you. How to let more divine love, more divine flow. You can tell by the fruit after the conversation if that person feels loved, nurtured, and supported and realizes, wow, I'm so happy and lucky to have you in my life, then you did it. If they don't feel that way, you did it. Instead of letting that intelligence do it through you. So the whole point is, there's ways to do that. It's got to be, start off with love. Start off with humility too. Because there's a way to start getting to that same energy. I was training my staff. My staff, is Brianna here? She is. I was training my staff. I'm going to finish with this because it's important, and then we're going to go into specific things, questions, whatever you need. Okay, but who here is going to become an expert at building your health?
Me.
All right, are you committed to that?
Yes.
You're already an expert. The expert's already inside you. Have you noticed I'm asking, anytime you got something of value, it's not because I taught you something, I asked you. You're teaching me. You're the expert already. Start owning it. The truth, everything you need's inside you already. That's the best part. Man, how awesome you were created. And that came just by chance. So anyway, really, so it's about, with Brianna, what were we training on? What does it say? Someone help me.
You were training your staff.
Training my staff.
On how to be an expert at building your health and how to help teach others to be an expert at building their health. Not teach, but help them realize that that's the mission.
Okay, so let me just, relationships, ready?
Yes.
You start off with humility. Here's what I was saying. Thank you, Brianna. So it's, my vibration is here, very high vibration right now, okay, compared to where I used to be. I don't compare myself to anyone else, only to where I used to be, okay? And I'm so thankful that I'm here, because when I was over here, I had certain knowledge from up here, like things that you're learning now, right? But I tried to communicate it from there, and it just was not received. So it made me sick, it stressed me out, it caused lots of problems, didn't really reach as many people, the percentage of people was a lot lower, all right? As you get higher and higher vibration, and more in line with truth, being congruent with it, what happens is when you speak, it gets bigger. So as my vibration gets more like this, which is really such a high vibration that it's not really me at all, the more I can let it be more God and less me, the more this crowd is going to keep growing until I have to speak on the corner of the street. I'm going to call the mayor and say, hey, we need police here. We're the only doctor's office doing what they're doing. These people need medical help, and that's why we're here. And they're all going to learn about God. They're all going to learn about health. They're going to learn the truth. They're going to learn. So, and you're all going to be part of it. Or you're going to choose to reject the truth. I don't know, I'm afraid. See, there's some doctors. This is powerful. Listen to this. There's some doctors that do what I do, that have the same title as me, a chiropractor, right? And here we are, very successful. And sometimes some doctors, not all doctors are successful. It's running all practice, a lot of things involved. And they'll complain or grumble about it, and they're still busy trying to focus on the laws and the rules and the insurance companies and look what's going on here and this and that and whatever, right? When we have something so special called truth and love and just to share people, it's going to bless you. It's called connecting people with the divine. We're going to align your mind and spine with the divine design for your life. That's what it is, right? Keep adding one, right? I had 3, then I had 4, now we got 5. The divine design. Yeah, there's a design for your life. So anyway, when my vibration was here, I couldn't reach. Okay? Then, as my vibration went higher, you just realize you start to believe it more. You say, yeah, of course, of course, of course. Well, once you hear a certain truth, but you don't meditate on it and chew on it, you need to spend time in focus, meditation, prayer, connecting to that wisdom inside you, and start becoming clearer and clearer, getting rid of the weeds so the garden of life can grow. You understand? You get more congruent with it. You actually believe it more. What Spirit tells you, common sense is the spirit of truth, okay? Just nobody's listening to it. When we go ahead and ask a question, like, well, obviously, yeah, right? Okay, that's the spirit of truth. But now, are you really congruent with it? When you go out and you talk to someone and they're dead set against it, are you going to stand up for the truth because you know? Why not? You got to love that intelligence more than you love your own children. Because if I went ahead and said, listen, your kids, they're a bunch of losers, honestly. Yeah, you're going to stand up for your kids, right? What about your Heavenly Father? Why not stand up for Him? If he told me my dad was a dirtbag, I would have defended him to the man. He's one of the most loving and giving people I ever met. That's the truth. And no one's going to be able to say anything different. And that same love and caring and givingness, it's inside each and every single one of us. You just got to start aligning with truth. Start finding out who you are. Stop listening to the world. See what's inside there. When common sense tells you something, start listening to that instead of what everybody's doing. That's why you have to be armed with strength. Because the world is going to try to rob you of it. The world ends up with cancer. Do you know 5 out of 6 people die from cancer and heart disease? That's how many die from it. So a higher percentage actually have it growing in their body. This is ridiculous. Almost 100% of people in this world are dying and sick and dying. When we say we want you to be on the mission, we're trying to save lives. If I could add 20 years to your life, how good would that be? It's easy. When you meditate on your visits, not just on what you're doing, but meditate on this. Say, is it hard or easy to be healthy, to have normal function? You'll notice that if you are trying to restore normal function with your own wisdom, your own talent, your own force, not only is it hard, it's impossible. That's called long-term medicine. Short-term medicine is a gift. It's for emergencies. When you're relying on medicine for life rather than that intelligence inside you, that's not a gift. It's making you sick for the rest of your life and miserable and get worse with time because you're putting your faith in something that can't do it for you. So, you get it? Let's focus on this, your communication, because this is so much to share. Do you see why the workshops are so important? You see? So, don't worry, and bring your friends and family to the next workshop. And we see we have a Lifesavers Day, patient party coming up. That's a party. So more and more of our patients, more and more of you are asking me, I have somebody who I know needs this. I don't know how to reach them because my vibration's here, and your vibration might be closer to here, and some people you can reach, some people you can't yet. And you're like, but it's common sense. I know they're going to be better with more life. I mean, who's going to be better with less life? Come on, think of one person right now that you want to have less life in their body. and then take that person and forgive them, and you'll have a lot more life than yours. Yeah, if you take that person and realize that that person is just vibrating here, that they can't see clearly, they're just like a 2-year-old that went up to you and kicked you in the shin. So if my little Gabby, she just turned 3, I have her birthday party today, I'm going there right after here. If she went up to you and kicked you in the shin, how much harshness and resentment and bitterness are you going to hold towards that 3-year-old? But if she did, what if she did? It happened. It has happened. I can't remember a specific incident, but I'm sure it's happened, okay? Or someone took a toy and she went, you know what I mean? It happens, okay? How much resentment would you hold? Okay, don't you realize that all of us are like that?
No.
Would you ever hurt someone when you know you're hurting yourself? Would you ever murder someone when you knew as soon as you pull that trigger that the bullet's going to kill you too? All right, people just don't know. We need to share the truth. You need to understand that the more life you have, you're going to live longer, you live better. If life is decreasing, it's called disease. It's called cancer. It's called heart disease. It's called lupus. It's called rheumatoid arthritis. It's called degenerative joint disease. It's called, there's 17,000 labels. Pulmonary something, spinal something. All right? It doesn't matter. There's so many labels, and then we manage the labels. All right? So we need to become experts. And when you communicate, I'm going to finish this off here. This is a great workshop. You guys are being so amazing. You're an amazing, team. And I want to thank you for partnering up with me on not only saving your life, but helping me to share that with others. Because they really desperately need it. And the truth is, you desperately need to be able to learn how to help the people around you. Because imagine if you knew it well enough, you became enough of an expert that for the rest of your life, you're going to live a long, healthy life. But everyone you love and care about you in your life circle is getting sicker and sicker. Man, you need to learn how to reach them. And it can't be you trying. The more you try, the harder it gets. You're pushing. That's why you got to keep looking at the fruit and then make an adjustment. Doc, you know what? I went ahead to talk to my daughter, and then I noticed that I was pushing her away. So I stopped immediately. I remembered what you taught me at this workshop. All right? I'm ready to meditate on it. I need an adjustment. Help me let go. Because you know why? When you want to connect with that intelligence is guiding you to do, it's so hard with stress and tension, fear and worry and everything in your mind. But if you can take time to clear your nerve system out. Yeah, that's what adjustment is. You're clearing. That's another thing you can meditate on, clearing out my nerves. I want to be clear so I can connect with my Creator. I want to be at peace. I want to be in faith. I want to believe in myself, my future. I want my kids to believe in their future. How do I reach them? And you go ahead, a healthy one. Not just that they believe in themselves in a worldly way. I'm going to reach this career goal because I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make lots of money. But in bigger ways. the money comes when you're helping. The more people you help, the more you always get what you need. Every single thing you need, you get. So, if you're aligning with life, you'll get the right job right down the street, right when it needs to come, right? The miracles
Right to
happen
the doctor's office.
right there.
5 minutes from the doctor's office.
We see miracles here, do we not?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Okay? So when you're trying to communicate, it's got to help the person feel more loved and appreciated. So you say, how do I communicate in a way that person actually feels love and appreciation for me? Because if they're appreciating you while you're sharing the very message that you know they need to learn, it means they're applying it into their life. If they're not appreciating it, you're pushing and you're pushing them away, making your relationship worse because you're putting too much faith on yourself and not the wisdom inside you. Imagine if I didn't ask permission and give you the reason why it's important to engage your mind so that you can have the most growth, the most change out of this visit today, out of this adjustment today, out of this workshop, right? Imagine if I didn't give you the why and didn't ask for permission. And then I started pushing. Come on, answer the question. Like, no, that doesn't work. There's got to be more humility. You got to make space for conversations. If I have a hard time with someone, I make space. Yesterday, I had a miracle happen in my life. I had one of the worst days I had in a while. It just was like one of those things where everything that could go wrong went wrong. But I know from what I'm teaching you, all right, that there's purpose in everything, and it was perfect. But I was having a hard time feeling it at the time, I gotta tell you. Everything was going wrong. I felt like my staff wasn't doing what they needed to do. I had someone in my staff start complaining to me right in front of a patient came in, and you guys aren't patients, though, you're practice members. Can we change the language on that right now and then never use the word patient again? I use the word patient with new people because that's their language. You got to speak their language. But you guys, if you think of a patient, what image does it put on your subconscious? So you're not a patient. You guys are wellness missionaries. You're on a mission to become an expert in wellness and to share that with your loved ones because, see, look how valuable that. Do you realize how important a calling that is? How important you're needed that you heal and you help others heal? Or that you at least start moving that direction? The most important thing when you become an expert, it's not even making sure they get the result. I used to do that. And I learned how to go so deep and it put so much stress on myself, but I got the miraculous results, and it was like, but I got sicker and sicker in the process. It took on more and more people, and I realized it's not about that. Life gets a lot easier. It's about faith and hope and love. Just keep them aligned with faith, hope, and love, and the more they start to just want to get there on their own, they'll continue healing, and they'll get better. They'll get there. I always wanted it to be faster. Yeah, that's my pride. That's my ego. I wanted to show people how I am the best. How I can do this for you. I'm learning every day to be more humble and to let go and to be more patient. And it just attracts more people. Not everybody's ready to be pushed, even if it's towards the finish line. You know? So anyway, with communication, it's got to be like you got to meditate on that. You gotta meditate on everything. You want to any area of your life you want to be successful with, meditate more. That means talking to that higher intelligence and saying, what do you think? And when you're having a hard time connecting, because you will have times where it's hard, you feel a little farther away from that source, and it's just like, Sometimes God's going to give you something to meditate on that's completely different than what you want to meditate on. I've had people come in, I want you to meditate on 120 years, good quality living, person lays down, and I want you to do it, and it's like, no. And I'm like, listen, whatever emotion you're going through right now, let's just process that feeling. Give it time. Oh, now the person's ready to let go. Their nerves are ready to become clear and let go. And you know what I mean? Because if they weren't ready, you can't push. Always look to see if you're pushing someone. If you're pushing, you'll know, you'll feel it. The spirit of truth is telling you inside. Because when you're not pushing, it feels wonderful. You feel blessed. And the person you're speaking to feels that way too. These are the fruits of when you're allowing that wisdom to flow through you. Okay? Now, anyone who's seeking truth will get there. If it's a child still developing, then I'm glad you start doing it now because you're training them to seek truth. Well, whatever the truth is, you're teaching them. And if it's an adult, the only way they're either going to love you or hate you, but it's not you. That's part of communication. I learned to deflect things. People's ignorance they want to blame things. So if I show someone an x-ray and there's all this decay and damage going on in their neck, they might not like that. Sometimes they'll project the negative towards me. I don't know, and so I've learned through adjustments. Man, this sucks. I feel so frustrated too. Man, if I wish it wasn't like that. I wish this wasn't really what's going on in you. I get how you feel. If there's anything I could do to avoid that, I wish, I would have done it too. I wish it wasn't like this either. See what I'm doing? I'm moving the negativity away from me onto the truth of where it really deserved. They don't want the accountability, so they want to push it off. You follow? The point is, there's always accountability, there's always something you can do, so that's why you have to keep allowing adjustments, okay? As you get your vibration up here, you'll be able to communicate to everyone. Okay? Here's the areas of life where you want to meditate when it comes to health. And we're going to finish here. In the next visit, I'm hoping that if you remember that you want to become an expert, and that's the goal, that you're going to say, okay, well, tell me more about those areas. How do I do more here? How do I do more there? So there's 6 areas of life, ready? In this physical realm that are going to affect your health. So there's physical. Let's put physical. I was going to say structure, but physical, right? If I squeeze your jugular, is that going to affect his health? That's a physical stress. Okay? If your spinal cord, if you lost that curve, like a banana, you straighten it, squeezing the spinal cord inside, and it's not able to come back to normal again, it stays permanently squeezed. That's a physical stress choking your brainstem. Okay? If there's too much tension around the liver or heart, you ever notice how sometimes I help release tissue around a certain area and I rock you back and forth? Sometimes your spine won't even release until there's so much stress and tension in the front, and I have you take some deep breaths, and then sometimes you're not even ready to let go of that. Remember, the tension is based on your thinking. Faithful, confident thinking brings peace. So and sometimes you have to meditate on a part of your life, and then all of a sudden it relaxes, opens up, and now we're able to take the pressure off your nerves, get more life back to your uterus, your ovaries, your prostate, whatever. So anyway, physical, right? The physical stresses, that's something we got to pay attention to. That affects your health. You know why? You know that you have to address it and pray on it and meditate if you want to improve your health? Because you're the one who believes physical stress affects your health. Not because someone's telling you. You have to address what you believe. That's it. What you believe. Do you believe someone can step on your neck and you'd be okay? Then you need to, do you believe that you feel every physical stress going on in your body? That you're consciously aware of it all the time? Right? How many people here saw that x-ray and found out about all the pressure on your spinal cord, saw the decay, that actually witnessed on the, if it's been going on for a while, all the decay and damage happening, and did not know about it until after we checked? Okay, so isn't it important to check? It's something to check into. Checking in, when you get more advanced, it's not even checking like going ahead and getting an x-ray and everything. It's more like, let me just take some time to this morning before I start my day and check in with you, Lord. Let me just see, how am I doing physically here? Lord, am I letting your wisdom be fully expressed everywhere? Physically here, or physically in my life? Should I go here? Should I go here? Should I go there? Physical stress. Mental. Then there's emotional. Notice the more you start meditating and praying, the more it just clears up everything. It addresses the physical, it addresses the mental, because your emotions start getting processed. Not only that, but you can connect with, what should I think, what should I feel? We have special techniques to help. You know, when I do something called neuroemotional technique, I didn't even call it that the other day, but when we go ahead and I just ask for guidance, that's what muscle testing is. You guys need to learn muscle testing. It's a great tool. All right? You got to learn how to check your organs and tissues, or check if there's a certain emotion that's related to things. As soon as I close up right now, I'll stay after and I'll show you. All right? So, or on the next workshop. Okay, I do have a birthday party to head towards. I didn't forget. I'm always, to the best of my ability, I'm always looking to evaluate where am I needed, where am I being sent. Yesterday I had to go to dinner with some very close friends of mine, but God told me to go somewhere else first real quick, and then I met up with them. So anyway, physical, emotional, right? Chemical. Yes, it's what you eat, but it's more than that. It's more than that, it's what you breathe. It's what you think. There's a book by Candace Pert, which you'll never read, because it's like reading an organic chemistry textbook. I read a lot of it though. It's called Molecules of Emotion. With every thought and emotion you think and feel, there are neuropeptides in your brain that are actually created and they go into your circulation, they go everywhere. So for every emotional response is actually a chemical change in the body. And there's different receptors on your organs and tissues for these neuropeptides. And now you think about thousands of years of meditation in the East, you know, Chinese tradition and stuff, and they always knew that the liver stored gallbladder, the liver stored anger, and the gallbladder a lot of resentment, and the lungs grief, you know, and they've been saying that for years, and now modern medicine has confirmed that there's a lot of those, higher percentage of those receptors there. So it's pretty, yes. Molecules of emotion, that's it, you would read it. That's molecules of emotion. Candace Pert is the author. But for every, I just want to pass by, well, I'll go over that after, okay? So, chemical, what about drugs? If you're taking drugs, a drug-specific purpose is to control something artificially in your body, right? So it's a man-made intelligence. So the only time it's good is when you truly believe with all your heart that that higher intelligence inside you wants you to do it, and you are able to discern clearly that it's not your fear talking. In other words, it has to keep you in a high vibration. It has to help you feel confidence and faith and peace and joy. And it has to challenge you a little bit but help you grow. So you know there's growth. It's not something you're ever going to be stuck with. It has to bring life. It has to be aligned with truth and help your truth grow. And know that whatever you use to help discern truth, right? What is the truth here? It aligns with it, and you see there's no contradiction. And it has to lead you to an action step that's going to move you more towards out of any hole. And if it's aligned with all those things, you're closer to a higher vibration. It's more the highest vibration of infinite divine love. That's God's voice. Divine love. Divine. The word divine is what seals it. That's God's voice. And you're looking to get yourself as peaceful and as aligned as possible so you can hear His voice to the best of your ability. Alright? So anyway, physical, emotional, chemical. Let's see, chemical. All the nutrients and diet. Your diet plays a role. And okay? Physical, emotional, chemical. We can do a whole workshop on any one of these. Physical, emotional, chemical. What am I looking for? What about, what's that? Mental. Well, mental is, I'm putting emotional with mental. We kind of covered that guy. Allergy. I have someone recently that was just sensitive. We changed her diet a little bit, and she realized we're being a little bit more specific. She's doing the Lighten Up program, and she's sensitive to apples. So we're desensitizing her. Yeah, she wasn't always that way. So we're increasing the expression of life to her while she has this apple. This is her apple. We leave it here. The first time she was so sensitive to it, as soon as she just held it, her body got so weak. That's why you gotta learn muscle testing. Wow. But the second day right after, we went ahead and tested her, and she was still weak. But she goes, wow. She's like, but that's not that much though. I said, yeah. I said, exactly. You're doing great. You know, she's not strong to it yet, and you know, so I said, you gotta stay away from it a little bit longer. I said, but when she's in perfect harmony with it, is it gonna bother her? No. That's what we do. Just like every other results. On average, see, I don't do the healing, you guys do. The possibility for 100% healing in any area of your life is there. All the time, 100%. It's because you're talking about your divine creator here. There's no limits. What we usually see in this office, with the guidance that we're giving and giving you the accountability and responsibility, is that usually most people are overcoming about 80% of everything, of your conditions. And I wanted to keep jumping, don't worry, but look at that's what this workshop's for. When you decide you're going to become an expert, you're going to learn how to overcome anything. Because even if you're not doing it all the time, when you get that nudge, when you start having that heart palpitation, and something says, shoot, okay, I know I haven't been doing it, Lord, all right, you know what I mean? You're going to go ahead and do everything you can to get 100% life. You can say, Lord, what does it take? How much life do you want? Enough. Maybe you're not ready to put enough for 100%. I don't even know what 100% looks like. You want to know what it looks like? It looks like Jesus. It looks like complete enlightenment. But do your best, right? But you want enough. How much do you want? Enough that this condition is overcome. Enough that enough that it's a full blessing that I can help someone else in a similar condition now. Not just deal with it, but overcome. Because that's life. Life helps you overcome. You're adapting. Even a single cell is adapting to its environment. So allergies is just you're not in harmony with something in your environment. I can have you hold it. Sometimes I have you put it in your mouth a little bit, but don't swallow. Or it depends on how sensitive you are. and as you desensitize and you're not reacting to it, as your body keeps adapting, there's more life, you start, and now you're not allergic to it anymore, okay? Are you hearing this? Didn't you ever see it even happen naturally without even trying, like a kid have an allergy and then they grow out of it? Okay, so why is it so hard to believe? No, take your Claritin and your shots. Put that stuff in you. Physical, emotional, or you can allow more of God's power. Okay? So physical, chemical, emotional, allergy. What about this one, electrical? You don't know what that one means? Well, I'm going to tell you, the thing you're here. That's one that I confess, I kind of let go a lot. But I got to tell you, I've had people where it was like one of the biggest things for them. I had a Scarsdale police officer once came in, and he had such severe pain in his shoulder, but it was only at certain times. And as I learned more about his case, I like, well, tell me more about when it happens, or what's going on, and I found out when he sits in his car, first of all, the dashboard of your car gives off so much radiation. And then, yeah, especially after like the navigation and stuff and all that other stuff, all the electronics. And then, but he has a laptop. The police officers, they sit there with a laptop there. Then he's got his cell phone, which police officers apparently are allowed to speak on their phone while driving. Not really, but but who's gonna stop him? And then a walkie-talkie with the wire across his chest up to here, And when he's in his car all day long, it starts to get worse and worse and worse. So at first I was checking the structure, the physical things, and then finally I had to put his hand on there was a light switch, and I checked all the rotator cuff muscles, everything. It was all solid, 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 solid. There was just so much life there. And that's why I was feeling good at that time. I said, hey, put your hand on the light switch over here. Just that little bit. He was so sensitive by putting his hand on that light switch. Every muscle got weak. It's like, I said, oh my goodness, no wonder. So while he's sitting in his car, everything's breaking down. Oh, you know what to look for? We did one visit where we got enough life there. He adapted immediately to electrical stress, and in one visit, it never came back again, that pain. The body adapted to the electrical stress. But sometimes you got to look at that. I had a woman who had such severe migraines, and nothing I did, it helped a little bit, but it was like she was suffering. I went to her house with a tri-field meter, and I measured the electrical, anything over 3 units, whatever those units are of radiation is enough to denature your DNA according to government, and you know what I mean? Yeah, that's why cell phones and stuff, I always put my finger there and I try to keep it at least a centimeter away. I just, anyway, the point is that when we went to her bedroom, it got so high, and when I went to right where her bed is, where her pillow is, it jumped up to 12. Now anything over 3 is enough to denature your DNA, that's where she sleeps. We switched her bed to the other side of the room. Never got the headaches again. So it's interesting. There was this big electrical thing in her apartment building right behind that wall. Anyway. So pretty cool, right? So electrical stress, cell phones, microwaves, TVs, fluorescent lights, all that stuff. You've heard about it. You can't say, oh, electrical stress is the cause of this type of cancer. But when you actually take a closer look at what's manifesting in your world, you say, people who live under power lines tend to have double the amount of that condition, or yes, he said heads nodding, than people who don't. So I wouldn't want to live under power lines. But if I was forced to, and that was my only option, I know that my Creator provides, and I know He's motivated if I would just get checked more frequently and adapt better, and it's going to help boost your life, because that's going to help, it's going to keep you motivated to do more, to keep yourself, as long as you choose health, health is not, let's get rid of the word function now. Health is 100% life. Health is 100%, God is life. That higher intelligence being expressed, so as long as you make that your highest goal, and you're always working on that and that's your goal, then every challenge that comes into your life is a blessing, because it's forcing you to do what our flesh doesn't want to do anyway. We get lazy, we procrastinate, but now when you go through the symptom, you're being forced. And some of us will still refuse. Man, the only one who you're hurting is yourself. The only one who's going to die earlier is you. If your body's... Listen, that's scary. As soon as I said that word, immediately the guards go up. If your body... Meditate, don't be afraid. If your body's breaking down, if it's a vital organ that you need to live, and it's breaking down, then yes, if you don't stop it from breaking down, you will die faster. That's serious stuff. That's the truth. And when you start bringing more life, you're saving your life. So electrical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do the last one. Ready? What's the last one? Structural, chemical, emotional, allergy, electrical. Someone help me. Brad, what do I always say? What? There's 6. Physical. Oh, no, you know why? I usually break this down into 2. Chemical is toxins and nutrition.
You used to
Okay?
do the triangle, the 3, physical, emotional, chemical.
Yeah.
And then you would, do it in the
You chunk
triangle.
up or chunk down when you're communicating with someone, how much information can you get? I had a ton of information on each of these things. I was going to show you this, I was going to show you muscle testing. I realized that's too chunked down because you just needed to realize that you can become an expert on your health today. So I chunked up. I could go over all 6, or I could just say 3, physical, chemical, and emotional. Because allergies is an energetic imbalance, partly. Usually there's emotions related to it. As we get into it more deeper, you'll learn more. Yes?
So, I'd like to understand, like the Apple sensitivity or the electrical sensitivity. What was
Come on
a
up.
realization?
Everyone give him a hand. Okay. Now, I don't know if you are testable, but I'm going to use you as an example to become testable probably, and then I'll use someone else as an example to show you so you can watch, okay? So, stand over here. All right, testable just means you can use the body as a good muscle indicator, okay? Everybody, close your eyes for a second, okay, please. And I want you to imagine one of the happiest moments of your life. Go ahead. Now we're going to connect with more life. We're going to engage your mind more. What about that moment? Does everyone have that moment? Give a nod if you have it. You got it, right? Yeah? All right, what about that moment is it that really is so happy? What about that? And let me have a nod in your mind when you get that. What about it makes you feel so happy? And for some of you, you need to go a 3rd layer deep. Why is that so important to you? Or why is it so special, whatever that answer was? There we go. You can feel the heart opening up. Can you feel that? The joy that it brings and the peace that brings, right? There's an energy there. Wait, keep your eyes closed. I want you to imagine. Well, actually, don't imagine anything. I just want you to know this. You're all going to lose it. You're never going to be happy for the rest of your life. You're always going to be miserable. Do you feel your energy start shifting?
Yeah.
Okay, you can open your eyes. None of what I said at the end is true, okay? But your thinking actually affects that spirit of life inside you. That's why we need to repent, rethink, rechange, let it be transformed by renewing of our minds. See, Jim? So, anyway, the point is that your thinking actually changes that energy of life inside you. So there's structural, there's a mental or emotional. That's a big thing. Sometimes, but you're thinking, and you see they're all connected. You're thinking, every thought you think is a different pattern of firing in your brain. If it was the exact same firing, it would be the exact same thought. And as you have changed the pattern of firing, it changes the energy flow. There's either more life or less life. We're training you to be, I hope everyone here is feeling more empowered. So you have more life, and if you just enforce it now, you need an action step. Birthday party. That's exactly what it says. Birthday party reminder. I put a reminder. Actually, I think my wife put it. So the point is, your thinking actually changes the pattern of neurology, which affects the pattern of life flowing through your body. Okay, this is a medical fact. We don't even call it the mind-body connection anymore. They call it the body-mind. They're so connected. Okay, so hold your arm out. Hold strong. I want to see if he's in strength or weakness. Don't let me push down. All right, and we're working together as a team. If one person is trying to overpower the other or prove something, then you're in pride and you're already disconnected. We're just working as a team. So now, his muscle locked properly when he initiated movement. That means there's enough life from his brain to this muscle to support it and what it's doing right now. If not, it would have gotten weaker when I pushed down. So what we could do is we can actually check something like your heart. Focus on your heart and hold strong. Focus on your spleen. Focus on your pancreas. Oh, look how weak that gets. You see how weak that is? So when we just start focusing on one of his organs and all of a sudden it drains his energy, is a good strong muscle. This guy's bigger, maybe stronger than me, maybe. But guys have a hard time saying stronger than me, but I don't like maybes. But the point is that when we focused on his pancreas, it was weak. It drew, we don't want to theorize, we want to focus on what we know for a fact. That muscle that was strong was no longer strong anymore. It had less life or less energy getting to it. That we know for a fact. Okay? So, And it was when we stimulated that organ, when we focused on it, when we activated it. See, if an organ doesn't have enough energy to support its functions, as soon as it's being called to action, it's going to have to take energy from somewhere. So pulled it from there, so I know there's not enough life there. So we would support them. Give them some alpha-lipoic acid, some vandyl sulfate. You know, alpha-lipoic acid is part of your glucose tolerance factor. This is not a nutrition workshop. I can spell out a million things. They can be like, wait, what was that? We'll do another one, okay? But the point
The next
is,
workshop is a nutrition workshop.
the next one?
And
The
it's in
next
ten-
workshop.
And it's in 10 days.
In 10 days. What's the date?
August 10th.
August 10th. So anyway, the point is that that's an organ that's weak. I can have you exposed to something that you're sensitive to, like an allergy. You ever see people who are so sensitive, you can sit down, so sensitive to poison ivy that they don't even need to touch it?
Yeah.
They can just come close to it and all of a sudden they break out. I've even seen people who are allergic to ideas. Just you think a thought and you break out in hives.
Wow.
Oh yeah, if you have a severe emotional, traumatic emotion or something, it can happen. So anyway, the point is that when you're exposed to something and you're not in harmony with it, if it's causing weakness, that's a sensitivity or an allergy. The only difference is that medically, they like to define things medically. If it affects certain certain immune chemicals, then it's considered an allergy. If not, we'll call it a sensitivity. Either way, you're not in harmony with it. And when you become in perfect harmony with it, you need your body to adapt now to whatever it is. So, and there's different things that we do and we go even deeper with it. And, I can do an allergy workshop one day, okay? Or you can just, call me and ask more and we'll talk more about sensitivities, okay? Any other questions? Yes?
I have an apple question, but I'll ask afterwards. Because I don't know, the one I want to ask now. And I'm just saying I'll ask my apple question afterwards.
What is
But
it?
the one I want to ask now. So the whole idea was, how do we get more of this life? The question was, do you want to live to be 100 years?
Uh-huh.
So I said, okay, I'm going to come, I want more of life in me. So like for me, I've always believed in God, so I've always believed I have God in me.
Uh-huh.
So what is it that I need to do to get more of that life so I get more of the health? Is it just more alignments then?
Okay, you're doing it. Watch. This is how amazing God is. That as soon as you start asking that question, as soon as your question becomes humble and authentic, you start receiving it already. And you don't have to rely on your own wisdom. Lean not on your own understanding. You're trying to find out so you can apply it. And you don't even have to. It's easier than that. It's easy. That's why I said also meditate. And is it hard or easy to be healthy? It's your birthright. Watch this. Instead of wanting to find out, why don't you just become better at it right now? That's why we're here. Ready? Is that okay?
Yeah, you gotta give me something to do.
Ready? You know how you just started asking, how can I? How can I get better at getting more life? Or what was the question exactly?
How do I get more of God in me?
How do I get more of God in me? All right, now close your eyes.
I'm more light then because more health.
Close your eyes and ask that question again, but don't ask me because I don't have the power to do it. Oh, you're starting to get more life. I feel more. Do you feel it? See how easy that was? You started getting more life when you were ready. So, and instead of trying to figure out how to do it, and then so you can explain it to others, which never worked for you, so why would it work for them? Just start doing it and trust that God's gonna work through you. See, because as you're, you're
Okay,
changing.
I just simply ask.
Yeah.
Then, God give me more life so I can give it a
Yes, but what we're missing is the action part. We said there's vibration, there's truth, there's growth, and there's action. So the accountability part is missing. Because you're here for a purpose, and when you want 100% life, there's your part in it. So just, God, give me more life. It's more like, God, when you said, God, how do I get more of you in me? That's when, now you're actually acknowledging that there's a part that you play. Because it's relationship that God wants with you. Not you just sit there and just lay still and God will do everything. There's relationship. That's what it's love. You follow? We'll go more into that. You're already 1,000,000 times better at it than we were when we first started, okay? So you're getting there. Yes.
Yeah, several minutes ago, you said something that rhymed, and I think somebody in
A
here
line?
said- No,
I
that
said to write it
rhymed.
down.
Yeah,
And it
align
was-
your
okay.
mind.
Oh, okay, wait, I wanna,
We're writing. I don't
Okay.
say until we're writing.
Divine design.
Actually, this workshop.
okay.
Start now.
Align your mind and your spine with the divine design.
Okay, wait a minute, align your mind and spine
Uh-huh.
Because I'm writing.
Align your mind and your spine with the divine design. And I did not make up all of that.
Oh.
I got parts from here and there, and more keeps coming to me. And then,
When I saw my meter, I came back and expecting it to be on the board.
To make you feel.
the first time I heard align your mind and spine with the divine was I heard Dr. DeMartini say that. No doctor. How are we doing? Are we on our way to becoming experts?
Yes.
So here's the last thing I want to share with you. Last thing, ready? So you need to anchor yourself. If you're not, you're starting to recognize there's a big truth to what we're saying, but your vibration's not able to communicate effectively enough where you go out and you're buzzing, but you want to try to share that with someone and it's just like, I don't know, I'm not as good at communicating it as Dr. Tony was or whatever, right? So you need an anchor. As long as you have faith and you really believe in this moment, right here, right now, and what you've learned, that it's true, and you know that it's true, then anchor it right now and use that same authority and same energy that you're looking to have with this topic and put it into an action step to take people there. And that's what the dinner is. And you may not be able to help that person completely believe in themselves yet when it comes to their condition and completely open up and take action to blessing their life and save their life, or even recognize that it even needed saving. But you can do this. You definitely can. If you know right now that this is right, then you can have the same authority that you wanted to portray but you weren't able to listen, that's humility. I don't know how to say what I need you to hear. Okay? But I met this amazing doctor or something. I don't know, it's not even me. Everything that's amazing is really the truth inside you, right? Okay? And I know someone who can help you. I know someone who can share with you. You have to at least hear what this doctor has to say. Come to this dinner. Come to this. But you can say that with authority. The same authority you started to connect to today. Hey, when's the next dinner? Dinner with the doc.
August 15th.
August 15th. It's you that's been asking me, how do I reach this person? We do all these events to help you. And I know, and it's really to help everyone to get on the same mission.
And the next patient party is on Thursday.
Thursday, August 4, right? Patient party is going to be our first party here. And it's to celebrate you, to celebrate the mission, celebrate life. And anyone you bring that day, they get a free exam. At the dinner, usually, what's up?
I was just gonna say, maybe you should post more flyers, because when I was coming in today, Kamina called me, and I said, I can't talk to you in parking, I gotta go to this workshop. She said, where? I said, Dr. Tony's, and she said, oh, I didn't know there was a workshop. So not everybody would necessarily read the thing that's the flat thing, because it was right there.
You know what, we'll put the
Maybe
dinners,
something else.
thank you.
Because Kamina
See,
called me,
this is
she came
teamwork.
and she
Thank
said,
you for being part of the team.
I didn't
I
know
got
there
an
was a
email.
workshop, she would've come, but.
And you know what, I give you full permission to, if I fail, if I mess up, because I'm not perfect, we're all doing our best together.
Everybody see the thing.
Listen, I'm not perfect. We're all doing our best together, so I give you full permission. If on Monday it's not put up yet, by the time you come in, just say, let me have a printout real quick. I'm going to put a tape up for you right over there.
Yeah,
I'm going to thanks for being part of the mission.
yeah,
Thank
because
you.
we got like,
Part of a
"I didn't
team.
know," and she came, but she didn't see the little thing up there.
Yeah, okay, you're right. We need
Wasn't
to
around,
display it more so
Yes.
more people can
Okay.
become aware of it. But you know what? The biggest thing is we need to share more. So when someone says, I don't know about that dinner, you have to be able to look at that. You might not be able to talk to them about how they can be healthy and overcome the world's beliefs, but I'm sure you can be just as emphatic about a free dinner. Okay? And yes! Actually, you came to the dinner, right?
Yes, I
You just came to the dinner. So, that's right. So does that make sense? So you anchor that communication, that vibration of faith, and you humble yourself. If you're not reaching that person, just say, I'm not doing you justice. Listen, there's something you need to know, and obviously I'm not good enough to share it with you yet. Please come to, if you're humble, you'll reach them. If you have that level of love, please. This, I'm telling you, is going to change your life. Is it going to change? If you believe that, it will change their life. Not with what your ability to communicate might not be ready to change their life yet, but the information that you're trying to communicate, will it change their life?
Yes.
So share that. That's where you're ready. That's the level of your faith yet. The Bible says to communicate unto your level of faith, right? Or they prophecy unto their level of faith, right? That's what you're doing. Don't say something that you're not ready for yet, but where can you be at that level of complete confidence and share that? That's a full expression of life. Now you're not letting your light dim because you don't know how to communicate it right. You're taking the person, you're being more patient. Take them to one more step. They might not get it all in that moment. Just take them to a dinner. Take them to a patient party. Take them to whatever. You got it? Who here is going to become an expert to practice staying on that vibration? Say aye.
Aye.
All right, I love you guys. I got a birthday party to go to. Liver and the liver? Liver and gallbladder? Anger, resentment? Is that good?
Thanks, Tony.
Quick question, August 10th is what time?
Thank you. Thank you so much, honey.
It would be as soon as we're done in the office, so 6:30 is our last appointment, so probably 6:45. Most likely 7, so like arrive at 6:45.
Okay.
How do
Can you
I
reach it?
stop recording?
I
I just wanna make sure I hit the right button.
Can I make an appointment for Monday?
Sure, hold on a second. Rob, can you help me? This isn't my camera. How do you press stop recording? Do you know?
What's something, make me feel good about myself? What's one thing that you got that's different now about you? Came here today.
Oh wait, that red button right there, do you think?
Can I take it, down?
So if you can't.
Wait, come on this side.
30
Can I take this down?
Just say, speak with
We're done here, right?
I think right here, right? Where it says start, stop?
There it is. Just opens up. That's why you've been doing this,
Probably.
okay? And,
Right here?
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, guys. Yes.
Let me take it down.
Yes, come here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Debbie? How you doing, honey? Where were you today? That's different.